Welcome to all. Welcome to all in this session. The observation, the occasion of celebration of Remembrance Day of Dr. Bikram Sarabhai, father of the Indian space program. It's 54 years ago we lost Bikram Sarabhai in a unprecedented, unpleasant situation. But he guided the Indian space program and also motivated students. Today we are going to celebrate it Remembrance Day as well as Global Award Announcement Ceremony towards our program organized by National Council of Researcher Teacher Scientist India along with National Council of Student Scientist India. Both are affiliated to VIPNet Vigyan Prasar, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and also collaborated with DASA India. During 2020, we started this program, and today we are launching, moving forward in 2025 with our this program's sixth edition, that is sixth India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award, as well as we are also today conferring the fifth year of India International Sarabhai Teacher Scientist Mentor Award 2024 for the teachers who motivated the students in during 2024. Myself, Anjan Bonik, being the National Chairman of National Council of Researcher Teacher Scientist India and National Council of Student Scientists DASA India, I would like to welcome you all in this event. Today, we will be blessed with the presence of so important and valuable dignitaries from NASA, dignitaries from ISRO and PRL also. Already we have circulated a brief introduction of all of them. From NASA, we will be listen the words of wisdom from George Selezer, the retired and 38 years long experience holder, NASA scientist, lead from Johnson Space Station of NASA. He will be joining today after few moments. We will be also blessed with the presence of most senior scientist, Dr. Prabhakar Sharma, who also interviewed for his job in PRL Ahmedabad by himself, Sarabhai, and also worked with Kalam, most senior scientist from PRL Ahmedabad, the mother institution of ISRO, Government of India, will be blessed in presence of and will listen words of wisdom of Dr. Jayant Joshi, scientist who got retired after 3 decades of service, very specially contribution to the Mangalyaan mission, that is MOM of ISRO, SAC, Government of India. We'll get in touch with not only rocket scientists, we will be blessed in presence of remote sensing scientist, most senior scientist and former director of NISEC, Northeastern Space Application Center, situated at Shillong, former director PLN Raju sir, who is also in service as a special secretary to the government of Assam, will be blessed in presence of Professor R. Elan Govin, most senior scientist who worked with Dr. Kalam and very specially with Mark III GSL and other GSLV projects. Today he will be with us. We will be blessed with R. Ramakrishna Raja Gopalan, most senior scientist who contributed to Mission Mangalyaan, from ISRO, and not the last but the least, we will be blessed in presence of Dr. Bharat Bhai Chaniara, the mentor of this award program. Bharat Bhai Chaniara from ISRO SAC Ahmedabad, who also contributed for EduSet and contributed for 3 decades in ISRO SAC Ahmedabad. So please be with us for a long time and to listen, to observe the memory of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, space father of the Indian space program. But we are starting with our program, this program, with a virtual inauguration, a short inauguration. Already we have with us Dr. Jayant Joshi sir. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Sir, we are starting with you. Just a few seconds on inaugural ceremony, sir, by power presentation. So we are starting, and next of this, we will listen all about you. It's a very matter of joy that, sir, from Melbourne also, where it is late night, you are being with us, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
नमः। हरि ओम्। सहना भवतु, सहनो भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। सं नो मित्रः सं वरुणः सं नो भवत्वर्यमा सं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः सं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मदेव नमस्ते वायो त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मा वदिष्यामि इदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु आवतु माम् आवतु भक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्।
So, after the formal inauguration of both the event and next year event, that is 6th India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award 2025, I would like to invite most senior scientists who also contributed 3 decades to ISRO SAC for better rocket launching and rocket making, etc., as well as very specially contributed to the team of mission Galjan from ISRO, Sir Jayant Joshi sir from Melbourne. So, sir, I would like to invite you to say something. We are eagerly waiting to listen your words of wisdom, sir. Dr. Jayant Joshi sir.
Very good evening, Manik ji. Thank you very much for your kind words. Am I audible? Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Clear.
thank you. So, very good evening, my dear colleagues and my dear students. I am very happy to be among with you at the inauguration of the very prestigious national event, the sixth India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award 2025. I'm really very happy in one particular sense that many times it so happen that events start, they run for a year or two, but this is sixth consecutive year it has been continued and it has taken to a very great height. So my congratulations and compliment to DASA India and this organization for running it so long and so systematically. And my compliments to all the students for taking keen interest and having an huge participation in a very long program like this. So today, also incidentally, is an death anniversary of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, who, to whom all we know as the father of Indian space program. So I will just touch upon some of the very important aspect which inspired me also personally, and which inspired almost every student in the life who want to achieve something. So he was a very visionary scientist. There are scientists, but he was a visionary scientist who shaped India's space program actually, right? And he was the instrumental and behind establishment of Indian Space Research Organization. He was born in an industrious family in 1919 on 12th of August. And as Vanik ji just now told, he uh, very unfortunate. He met on very unfortunate sad demise on 30th December. That is today, on 1971. So in a very short span of life of 52 years, there is an incredible journey of a man who really had a dream for his country, right? And where did this dedication came? So his father Ambala Sarabhai, if he is also a father, considered as a visionary industrialist. He was engaged to a very great industry in Ahmedabad at that time. They owned the Calico Mill, the one of the biggest textile unit in India, and supplying lots of clothes to our country at that time. So Ambalal Sarabhai was his father is a visionary industrialist, and her mother managed an Gujarat Vidyapit school. So due to this mixed environment, Sarabhai imbibed values of education, business acumen, and his deep commitment to India's development. So the environment in which we live generally build our character. So it is always you cannot change so many things, but what you can instantly change is your environment. So try to be in a very good positive environment which builds your character, which brings out your ability as a human being. So he earned some of the very few achievements of Vikram Sarabhai. I would just like to narrate. He earned a natural science degree only at the age of 20, but later on he could not continue his study there abroad because of World War II. He had to return to India, but he did not stop there. Then he joined Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore under the mentorship of our Nobel laureate Dr. C.V. Raman, and he earned his PhD degree at Cambridge University in 1947 under cosmic rays, and he founded the Physical Research Laboratory, that is PRL, which is considered to be the cradle of Indian space program. That he established that in 1947, and from there he started his dreams, realizing his dreams at that particular institute, that is Physical Research Laboratory. He had a team of very young and talented scientists, a pool of some 20 to 30 scientists. He made a team, and he told them that I had a vision. So he started all this saying the team that I want to fabricate a one satellite, and we want to launch the satellite in the near future. And that way, he gave this young team a vision where he really wanted the country to take. So, and he believed in one particular aspect of life, that he believed in power of teamwork and partnership. So let me narrate one incident which reminded me at the time. See, Indian space program, we did not initially started making satellite. We did not started making our own rockets. But he believed that initially when we are trying to get handle over the newer and latest technology, because we are talking about 1960s. So at that time, he had a dream of taking our country from an underdeveloped to a developing country using the space technology. We were a very young, independent country. We had very limited resources. Even agriculture produce was not enough to feed our countrymen. But at that time, he had this vision that a country like India, if really want to develop and prosper in an all-round development of a country, space technology is the only one which can handle all the issues, especially for India. But he then convinced the that time government that we must enter and we must start something in the Indian space program. But again, fund was a problem. So what he proposed was not making a satellite, not making a rocket, but how to use this technology. So that is how he started. That we don't want to build the rocket first, we don't want to build the satellite first, but if we have that technology, how that effectively can be used for the development and common man of our country. That is showed to this particular to our nation, and from there everything started, right? So, and when I narrate his incident about his relationship, international relationship, I'm talking about an era when there was a cold war between the two giants, United States and USSR. So even at that time, when he entered into this era, that is space era, and he convinced the government, and we started our program from a small village, fishing village called Tumba near Trivandrum. So Tumba was selected as a site for the first initial project for spacecraft called sounding rocket. Now we did not have the technology, we did not have the enough infrastructure, right? So what to do now? At that time, Vikram Sarabhai used his relationship internationally, and he brought the enemies of the Cold War time, United States, USSR, France, and they made all of them work together for a common cause, and that is developing India's rocket site at Thumba. So what he did, USA provided the rocket, the Minsk gave the computers, while the helicopter was from USSR. And the payload, which was very instrumental, right, for this rocket-based experiment, that is known as sodium vapor payload, which was personally brought by Professor Jacques Blamont from France. So he made all these big countries and the enemies with one another at the time of Cold War come together and work for our cause. And that is why, he is considered to be the statesman, and his quality of working as a team is even today. ISRO is pursuing that, and it is always a teamwork, because make see, today itself we have a very challenging launch, and I request all the students to watch it at 10 o'clock tonight India time, that we have a launch for SpaceX satellite. That is, SpaceX is a space docking experiment. So how to dock two objects in a space, right? So I'm coming to that a little later. So don't forget to watch after this program. Do not forget to watch on our national television. It will be a live telecast from Sriharikota by using our PSLV 660 rocket. Now, many things. Now, when this particular Nike Apache rocket was made ready, prior to the actual flight, there were many hiccups. The hydraulic crane malfunctioned, so the movement of the rocket was to be done manually. Then the fitment, the compatibility of the payload, that is the sodium payload, and the nose cone of that particular Nike Apache sounding rocket, it was not proper. So the payload was not fitting inside the nose cone. So one young engineer was given a task to handle it very carefully, and he took a file. When something is not fitting, we take a file and we try to make it the surface or that area. You file it a little bit and you make it compatible so it is properly goes inside and everything can be assembled properly. This young engineer, whole night, almost literally whole night, he took that file and manually he did all the filing, minute filing work around the payload carefully, because even a small break or crack or some wire coming out would lead to a catastrophic failure of the total Nike Apache first flight. But he carefully did it, and he made it. He ensured that the payload properly fits inside the nose cone. And this was done very successfully. And who was that engineer? That was none other than Abdul Kalam. So he was the person who did that filing work so precisely, and the payload was made to fit inside the nose cone of the Nike Apache rocket. And finally, on 21st November 1963, at 6:25 p.m., Night Apache rocket sailed into the sky, creating a sodium cloud and the beginning of Indian space program. An orange cloud was visible even with a naked eye. And at that time, the Kerala Legislative Assembly, which was running, was suspended for 20 minutes to watch this spectacular event. That was the beginning of Indian space program. That is the reason why, so Tumba was an starting point for Indian space program. We started with making an rocket launch area. We did not have infrastructure, we did not have technology, but the relationship, the statesmanship of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, bringing the enemies of Cold War time together and making a great place called Tumba. So this is Dr. Vikram Sarabhai for us, and without taking much of he not only did contributed in the field of science and technology, but he also contributed to our country in the field of education. He made Indian Institute of Management at Ahmedabad. He contributed in the field of arts by establishing a Darpan Academy for performing arts. Likewise, PRL, Attira, so many things, ECIL. So many famous national level institute Sarabhai has founded. And now talking about this today's event, which I was referring to, that today we are going to witness a SpaceX launch at 10 o'clock, and initially it was planned at 9:58, but due to some traffic jam in space, yeah, some event has taken place, and it has been decided that we'll delay our launch by 2 minutes. So instead of 9:58, now the launch will take place at 10 o'clock. So this is a PSLV C-60 mission where our polar satellite launch vehicle will carry the SpaceX. So SpaceX, as I told you, is a space docking experiment. So docking, docking means, because nowadays, when this Sunita Williams and Bob Wilmer, now they have got unfortunate delay in coming back to Earth from space station. Everybody is almost all science enthusiasts are aware about this word docking and undocking. So that docking experiment into space, so that is known as SpaceX. So SpaceX consists of two satellites which will be launched. So they are named as one. One of them is named as a chaser satellite, and the other satellite is known as the target satellite. The weight of both individual satellite is 220 kilograms each, and the experiment is going to take place at around 470-kilometer orbital altitude. So at the height of 470 kilometers, this docking is going to take place. The two satellites will be launched separately. This is to be understood very precisely that PSLV at the time of launch, when it gains insufficient velocity, what it will do at the time of separation, that it will impart a smaller relative velocity between two spacecraft at the time of separation, because both of them will not be separated at the same time, right? So they will be given some relative velocity between the two spacecraft, and the distance between the two satellite initially will be around 20 kilometers in space at the time at the place of separation, right? Now, because ultimately they have to dock, we have to ensure that this precision maneuver takes place at altitude of 470 kilometer above Earth's surface. So this separation of 20 kilometer will have to be reduced gradually, not suddenly. So ultimately, this distance would come down from 20 kilometer to 5 kilometer, that will be reduced to 1.5 kilometer. Ultimately, will go down to zero point 0.5 kilometer, that's a 500 meter, then 250 meters, then 15 meters only, and ultimately the distance would remain only 3 meters. So at that separation, that precision, you have to bring both the satellite. Now, what is the initial speed before this particular maneuver is attempted? They would be revolving in that particular orbit at a speed of 28,800 kilometer per hour. That would be the speed of both individual satellite into space, right? And ultimately, and if we translate that per minute, the velocity, the speed would be around 500 kilometer, roughly. To be precise, it is 480 kilometers. So I am telling 500 kilometer per minute. So in 1 minute, you from Ahmedabad to Bombay, you can go in 1 minute. So at that speed, the satellite would be traveling. Now that velocity, because both of them has to be docked, with an initial separation of 20 kilometer has to be reduced to only 3 meter. They have to reduce it gradually, and so they have to reduce the velocity. So that velocity of 500 kilometer per minute, or let us say in normal unit 28,000 kilometer per hour, is to be reduced by only 0.036 kilometer per hour. So that is only zero point 0.6 meter per minute, right? So that much velocity reduction has to be done in space. Now you can think of an amount of precision required for this particular mission. That is why I am emphasizing that every space enthusiast must watch this entire launch very carefully, right? And so what would be done? So ultimately both the satellite in space at that altitude will come to such a close distance, and then the docking would take place, right? So that docking would be done, as I told you, at orbital altitude of 470 kilometer. Now, ultimately, it will be there. Initially, there are two satellites, but they will merge into a single unit when the complete docking is completed. Now, what is the benefit of this? Why we are doing? Why we want to do such a complex and challenging mission? That we want to establish some of the challenging technology. That is, it paves our way to satellite servicing, long-term mission, and space station development. If any country has to, because the space station, which currently the space station is all of the size of a football ground. So do you think the entire football ground would have been lifted to space in a one go? No, it was taken into piecemeal. So some launches initially, then everything by using different rocket at the different time interval, the different sections were sent into space, and by using this docking and undocking, they were integrated into space, and the astronauts now which are traveling to space station, the capsule goes there, then docks with the international space station, and ultimately the transfer takes place and the module comes back. So that is what is precisely is to be done in that orbital altitude. Now the key capabilities which we wanted to demonstrate is the precision rendezvous, that is to meet at a given point and given place. That is important, right? You think of a situation that you are given a distance of 500 kilometer. Now there is a golf post, right? And you are told that there is a one ball 500 kilometer away in a golf ground, and you have to hit that golf ball with your golf stick in such a way that at 500 kilometer it should land perfectly in a small golf, and that is because and that is the only one chance available to you. There is no second chance here, right? So that much precision is required, where you can't see beyond at 500 kilometer. We can't see what is happening there, whether it has gone there or not precisely. So that is a very complex and challenging mission we have ISRO has planned today, right? And as I told you, the precision rendezvous, docking maneuvers, then the power transfer between the two satellites in space will take place once the docking is complete, and the scientific payload operations after the docking is complete. Whatever planned payload experiment which are planned, they will be conducted. Now, as I told, it's a very complex and challenging job. We cannot do it again and again. We can't afford that. So what we have planned it, once it is docked and we complete our planned and the initial important experiment, they will be undocked, and several docking and undocking trials would be, it is planned to conduct such an experiment, whether we can dock it again after they are undocked. So that sequence, docking and undocking, would be attempted a few times, because if you really want to build a space station, so many times the capsule would have to go there. It has to dock with the main station. It has to get undocked and come back to Earth. So to demonstrate that capability and to know the intricacy of this particular these challenges, we have this mission has got some planning that once the initial first successful docking takes place, then we can do some multiple trials, whether docking and undocking. And if the SpaceX is successful, which I am confident and all of us are confident, and our best luck to Team ISRO for doing that, that once it becomes a successful, we will be among only three nations today which have the capability to docking a satellite into space. That is USA, USSR, and China. We will be the fourth country to demonstrate that we can dock two of the spacecraft into space. So that is a very challenging. Life of both the satellite is planned around 2 years, and docking technology is essential for lunar and interplanetary missions also, and will also carry because poem 4 is known as the fourth stage of the PSLV. It will be also carrying 24 other payload or other small experiment which is made by different academic institutions and some startups, so that they also go there, their spacecraft or their this thing goes there, and they do the microgravity experiment, which is to be conducted in space in the real situation at that particular orbital altitude. So multiple docking and undocking would be tried if the first trial gets successful. So very important and challenging mission is to be conducted, planned today, and I wish that this has to be a successful, and it will be successful. So thank you very much, dear students, for your patient listening. And two things today I just wanted to tell, that remember Vikram Sarabhai's vision that whatever technology you develop, you learn, your country should be there in your mind forever. He worked only for the development of a common man of our country. And number two, whatever challenges come, because ISRO Huh? ISRO's success story is not that important. ISRO's failure story is more important, which has made ISRO so successful. So, whenever you get a failure, try to learn something from that failure and live forward and get a successful life. So, I wish all of you a very successful career, and all the students, I wish that many of you come forward and should join our nation's this such institute, and DASA India and the organization run by Banikji are the platform for you people to bring to becoming a bridge for the knowledge and to coming to this particular. When you compete for such an award, you learn so many things, you interact with so many people, so that your vision becomes larger and larger. Thank you very much, Banikji, for giving me an opportunity to interact with students. Thank you, sir.
Sir, don't beg it. Thank you from us, because we have to be thankful to you. It's very much. I have to say, gratitude. I feel gratitude when, sir, you all join us and give your blessings, sir. Such a thing, sir, from far away from India, from Melbourne, where it is a late night event. You joined for a long time. About where so many difficulties is there, and it's a really a fruitful discussion, listening from you, sir, learning from you, sir, about the ISRO's journey. And sir, somewhere I read from a poet that, सर, जिंदगी वैसी कहानी होनी चाहिए कि उसके आखिरी दिन को सब रोए. So, sir, you also defined that one, sir, that we have to learn from the failure of the from ISRO, not success, because success is a thing. Trial and error method we also learn in different topics. Sir, ISRO is a really a motivational institute for all of us, no, whoever in the field of science or space science, but all of us. It's a really ISRO and your all the you scientists who are joined, who have served for nation, for ISRO, for science. Sir, we have to learn from you, sir. Thank you for being with us, even beyond all the difficulties from your side for a long time. Thank you, sir. We need your blessings for far away. Sir, we are going ahead, sir. I just introduce you with all our other members also who are present on the dais. Sir, we have with us most senior scientist who interviewed by Vikram Sarabhai and worked with Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Kalam also in PRL, the Mother Institute of ISRO, Dr. Prabhakar Sharma sir. We have with us former director of NISEC, uh, PLN Raju sir, who is also in office at Government of Assam as a special secretary. Welcome you, sir. PLN Raju sir from in remote sensing
Oh,
area.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
We have with us Alan Govind sir from ISRO, who served in GSLV missions as well as for Mission Mangal, Dr. R. Ramkrishnan, RR sir. Welcome you, sir. Welcome you all, sir. So it's a very nice ceremony, I think, in my life as well as in the history also, that all of you are here in this occasion, sir. I pay my regards on behalf of this organizing committee, the whole team, on behalf of whole team, even from my heart also, sir, to you, sir. So thank you for being with us. Please bless us so that we can conduct the program, which is a almost 6 month program. First, we will start with a e-quiz during the period of 1st January, which is a birthday of Satyendranath Bose, the renowned physicist, and it will uh, end. The first round will end on 28th February, which is a National Science Day, and onwards we will select or filtrate some students like 50 or 40 for the award purpose, and we will conduct some almost 5 6 assignment based on space science, measuring circumference of sun and other things also, uh, uh, in and space flight simulator, how you people uh, designed rocket, and how you achieve the orbit, lower orbit, higher orbit, and then how you land on any planet or celestial object surface. Student will do that on a simulator and give their feedback. Accordingly, our jury will decide to whom we can confer the award, and we are thinking to confer 5 students at the national level throughout the India to confer the award on 12th August, sir. So it's a very proud feeling to me when all of you are joining here, sir. Thank you, Joshi sir, joining for a long time and discussing all about the failure stories for success to achieve the success of the ISRO. Thank you from Melbourne also. Thank you, John Joshi sir. Sir, if you all allow, sir, I would like to invite uh, our next speaker, Dr. Prabhakar Sharma sir, who most senior scientist who even interviewed for PRL by Dr. Sarabhai, Vikram Sarabhai, father of the Indian space program, and worked with Sarabhai along with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, uh, former president, as well as most renowned scientist and motivator also from PRL, sir, PRL Ahmedabad. So I would like to invite Prabhakar Sharma, sir, to give your blessings to us, as well as to blessings for this program, and to remind about Sarabhai also in on this remembrance occasion of Dr. Sarabhai. Dr. Prabhakar Sharma, sir.
Thank you, Anikji. Hello, am I audible?
Sir, you are audible, sir. Very much audible, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak on Dr. Sarabhai's anniversary. In fact, I was working at Trivandrum in Thumba rocket launching station uh, when he breathes his last. And in fact, I had seen him 2 days before that. He was present as the chief guest when this Valley railway station was inaugurated. So I saw him. He was already looking very weak. So in fact, I told him, Professor Sarabhai, you are looking very weak. I think you are not taking proper rest. He says, no, forget it. Firstly, I am not Professor Sarabhai. I am your Vikram Bhai. Because in PRL, where we worked, he was director of PRL in those days, and also secretary of this um, Mumbai, this Atomic Energy Commission. So he said, no, 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 I am still your Vikram Bhai, so don't embarrass me. You tell me, you address me as Vikram Bhai only. He was very informal. And I understand he was, he visited Trivandrum, both Thumba Rocket Launching Station and Space Science and Technology, SSTC Center, very briefly. And, many scientists were waiting to receive guidance from him. So he used to give appointments right from 4 o'clock in the morning. And the whole day he was busy. So on that day, on that fateful day also, he was scheduled to to talk to many of the scientists, and they were waiting at his hotel. He used to stay in Coverdam Beach Palace Hotel. And but then he didn't open his door, so these people called security, and they opened his door with another key, and then he was no more. So you see, this is unfortunate. He was just 52 years old, but I believe he was working harder than what his health permitted. He had no time for rest. All the time he used to worry about ISRO, and how ISRO would be shaped up. So his mission was to transform ISRO into a world-class institute. And being the director, he worked very, very hard. In fact, he worked harder than any one of us. He used to in fact say that the boss should work the hardest. So it sets an example for others, and he won't take it easy. Very little time he had for himself. In fact, he used to visit PRL those days only for 2 days, Saturdays and Sundays, and then guide his students. 3 or 4 PhD students were there at that time in PRL. And in fact, I wanted to join him, but he says, I have already a lot of work, and excuse me, I won't be able to give much time, so you join somebody else. So I didn't join him for my PhD. I joined one other fellow scientist. But you see his schedule, he used to take a night train on Sunday night from Ahmedabad back to Mumbai, Mumbai now. And during the whole night, he would not sleep. He would actually check the research papers and PhD thesis or whatever scientific communication his students were making. And almost whole night he was, checking things. He was correcting those things. So you see, he had a very busy schedule and he had no time for himself. So I think that partly, his health wasn't very good. Even at the age, 52 is not a very age to leave this world, but that's what it was. Now, Dr. Sarabhai had a multifaceted personality. Other than being a scientist, he was an institution builder. All of you would have probably heard about him. He built several institutes. Excuse me. PRL was, of course, the founding institute of ISRO. Then, under PRL, the ISRO came up, and that time it was only Thumba Rocket Launching Station and Space Science and Technology Center at Trivandrum. SHAR came later. SHAR was established much later. But then, other than these scientific institutes, he set up many other institutes, like Ahmedabad Textile Industrial Research Institute called ATIRA at Ahmedabad, which is just opposite PRL. Then National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad Management Association, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, Community Science Center at Ahmedabad, which is now known as Vikram Sarabhai Community Science Center, and several other institutes he, supported and set up. So he had actually, good rapport with our Prime Minister and other people. So getting funds for him was no problem. Whatever he used to say used to be respected by everybody. And but then you see, what he did was he brought top scientists from around the world. And that time bureaucracy was not too much. So if the boss wants that this man should be there, he was there without much of hassle. Excuse me. One Dr. C.L. Ambara, who was a structural engineer, he brought from NASA. And you please remember, somebody coming from NASA, leaving NASA and joining ISRO is a great achievement, So because people believe that Dr. Sarabhai would provide them enough freedom and opportunity to do work. Freedom was highlight of ISRO's culture. Whatever you wish to do within the limits possible, Dr. Sarabhai would allow it. And then, of course, the programs were critically reviewed. It's not that whatever you want to do, they have to come within the terms of reference of ISRO, and the progress would be monitored very strictly. And that's what is the quality of a good leader, that you give freedom, but then freedom with accountability. Accountability has to be there. So that's why ISRO's program grew very rapidly. In fact, I also participated in several rocket flights and so on. And it was, I'm sorry, I have a very bad throat. So this was the sort of culture in ISRO, and very informal. We used to have very informal discussions over tea in the dining hall when we used to meet, and he would, again, a lot of people will gather around him and seek guidance. So he was always available. At night also you can wake him up and discuss your ideas. So that was Dr. Sarabhai. Now, the other thing which was very important with Dr. Sarabhai was the informality of the whole environment. People I remember when I was there in PRL, and Dr. Sarabhai was the director, and about 150 people were only there at that time. Now it became big now later, but he used to remember everyone by name, and all of us used to convey to him whatever is happening in PRL. Suppose some employee's daughter or son got married, he would be sent invitation, and whenever he visits PRL next, he will visit his home, even for few minutes, though for a few minutes, and congratulate the couple. So that motivated PRL actually. That motivated people in PRL to work for PRL. They will put their whole heart and work. So that was the culture in PRL, and the same thing percolated to ISRO. I visited several centers of ISRO, and I saw people working almost round the clock. And that was the culture actually. The motivation was that the missions should go on time, and the critical checks were being made, and everything was sort of perfected. The ISRO's record of perfection is even better than NASA and other countries. That very Of course there are failures. Occasionally there are failures, but then they will be kept to minimum. And review meetings were held on um, quite frequently, and each mission when it was launched, there will be several reviews of the mission. So that was the culture in ISRO, and I guess that now the ISRO's prime focus of ISRO was not only just academic sort of research and development, but how this space program can become relevant to countries' development, and how common man can be benefited by these programs, which included meteorology, the weather forecasting. For example, we are getting information for all the disasters, be cyclones or earthquakes or whatever, much in time, and therefore the losses are minimized. Then water resources mapping, ice cover mapping, then forest cover mapping, crop mapping, the health of the crop. In fact, I remember that when I was in Trivandrum, uh, helicopter, remote sensing by helicopters was done over coconut fields, and whatever coconut trees were deceased, they were identified. So you see, with much less effort and time, this would be done. So Dr. Sarabhai's main aim was how education, for example, and now telemedicine, uh, and various missions like EduSat and other things are done to spread education in the rural area. Even the medicines, for example, the how medical help can reach people in the remote areas. So ISRO became very popular because of this. That ISRO is not just academic activity, but it is relevant to common man. So please remember, I would urge all the student community, whatever research you do, should benefit and should be relevant to improve the life condition of people who are less privileged. And that is what Dr. Sarabhai's vision was. And I'm glad that his vision is still honored by people in ISRO, and ISRO is working on the vision given by Dr. Sarabhai. So I think I would not take much time, but I would pay my respects to Dr. Sarabhai. I had a good fortune of working with him, and I will urge students to do their best in their studies and join ISRO or other scientific organizations and contribute to the development of our country. Thank you, Anikji, for inviting me for this on this occasion, and wish you all the best over your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. If we go through the behind our all arrangement and for this type of ceremony as well as celebration, as well as celebration conferring award, we find that you are the mentor to us, and it's just a proud feeling matter to us that such a personality like you, sir, who served with for a almost 3-4 decades in PRL, the Mother Institute of ISRO, as well as with Sarabhai. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, father of the Indian space program. It's really a matter of proud pride to us, sir. Thank you for being with us. Please keep your blessings for throughout the program also. Whenever we need your help, please help us also. Sir, with this word, I would like to invite some of our other dignitaries also on dais. We
Thank you so
we
much.
have, sir, we have with us from NASA, scientist lead of JSC NASA, George Seliger. Sir, welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir, for being with us. I think this is the third, fourth time you are joining us, and thanks to you. Please bear with us for a few moments and be familiar with us. The system we have with us former director of Northeastern Space Application Center, PLN Raju sir, and in service in office, Special Secretary to the Government of Assam, PLN Raju sir, who is a specialist in remote sensing also. We have with us Dr. R. Ramakrishnan sir, ISRO scientist who's also contributed for our mission Mangal towards mission to Mars mission. He was that team member of that very special mission. So please bear with us for a few moments and be familiar with us. Within this few time, I would like to invite Dr. PLN Raju sir, Special Secretary to the government of Assam, as well as former uh, director and remote sensing scientist of Northeastern Space Application Center. Sir, please, we are eagerly waiting to listen your words of wisdom, sir. Dr. PLN Raju, sir.
Yeah, good, yeah, good evening to Anjan Bani and all luminaries you invited for the program. It is basically an honor to associate with them and also put forward my expertise, whatever I can, that will also help the students to take up in their future careers. So, as Anjan Manik has mentioned, so I basically work in a use of a space technology. First of all, my homage to Vikram Sarabhai sir on his death anniversary. We always inspire what Sarabhai has mentioned, something like we are going into the space not for the competing with others, but how we can contribute and serve the society and community. So that part comes along with me, many scientists work in use of space inputs for all the developmental activities and governance activities. Now, if you talk about any application area, so there is no field where the space technology cannot be applied. Okay, so all the fields. So, but it is as you say, communication or a locational information or live programs and then generating alerts and providing modeling input. Suppose if there is something going to happen in tomorrow or day after tomorrow or 1 week after, how we can use these space data inputs to support that. So these are the various areas where, and even education, health sector also, these space inputs are also useful. So one important thing is Anjan also comes from the Tripura, and I am here in the Northeast for last 9 years. So I have also seen that various requirement and challenges of Northeastern region. If you see that, what are the challenges or the problems? Are these challenges and problems can we solve or provide support in solving those problems for all the northeastern states? See, one is something like infrastructure. So we even recently also there is a request from Tripura government telling that only one lifeline road is connected from the other parts of northeast and other part of the country. The road goes through Silchar and then goes to Agartala side, crossing all these states. So this is also very important
Sir, sir, please unmute yourself. Somehow it, sir. Okay.
I think it has a muted. I did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
do anything, but somehow it has got muted. I think.
Okay, 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 sir. Okay.
Yeah. Now, what I was mentioning is road which is connecting to Tripura Agartala is a lifeline, and during the monsoon season, because of heavy rains, if any major landslide happens, it is completely broken down from rest of the part. Even last year, I was invited for Assam Agriculture University for a technical fest, and then there, suddenly when there was a rain, the road was blocked, and then I was not able to move. So these are the difficulties of this thing. And another thing is education and then health. These are also very important components. And then there also we are lacking behind compared to the mainland of India. So ISRO also launched EduSat satellite, and then they also provide a lot of services. And I was also actively involved using the EduSat and promoting the use of this EduSat and offering the services of EduSat and promoting the use of the space technology. We used to offer programs like a remote sensing and global positioning system, geographical information system, and then various applications for water resources, infrastructure development, soil mapping, agriculture, forestry, urban development. Even you all know that smart cities, having development of a smart city also requires use of detailed mapping so that it is possible because thanks to ISRO and thanks to all space agencies who launch the satellites and provide very high resolution data. So we started with remote sensing something like in 1972, first launch of Landsat series by NASA. And then later on, French also launched their own spot satellites, and India also joined. ISRO also joined in 1988, started putting our own satellites for remote sensing purposes. So basically, what I mean to say is whatever is happening on the earth, suppose if we talk about agriculture, so if you wanted to know that what is the crop acreage in different states and different locations, and what is the possible output or yield which we can achieve, which we are going to get from these crops. So there are using the satellite data, climate and other data, and also incorporating models. So there are we can estimate what will be the yield and production in advance, so that if any deficit of required grains, so we can also have a alternative plan to the supply to these things. And another thing is, if you talk about Northeast, so we are only 8% area of total geographical area of India, but our contribution in terms of forested area, so we are having a very large extent. So we are some states like Mizoram and Arunachal, they are more than 85% green cover, and all other states also 50-60% of the northeast. So our contribution is significant in terms of vegetative cover, and then there is a requirement we should have a 30% of total forested area. But the unfortunate thing is either it is illegal cutting or because of due to landslide and other things, so the forest cover is lost. So then, or through shifting cultivation, how to bring back to this tree cover, and then identifying. See, there is a World Forest Watch website where they estimate that how much is forest is lost and how much is forest gain using the continuous satellite data, so that it will help us to know what are the areas, how much the area is lost, and how much we can take up further improvement in this. So government of Assam also he is planning to have continuous monitoring of this forest lands using the high resolution satellite data, so that we can also make a uh, restore the forest and then bring back a more tree cover back. So this is one more application. Similarly, there is a lot of problems related to the floods. Even Agartala also they get a lot of floods. Manipur also in northeast, particularly Assam is the highest floods. Whatever happens here, any flood which is happening, so it's very difficult to restore back whoever is lost their life and livestocks. So the satellite data also helps how to make resilient of from the floods. So there is government of Assam also recently taken a major step to allocate 3% of budget exclusively for flood mitigation and flood resilience activities. So, as far as the space technology is concerned, it also helps us to know that when the flood is going to happen, is the next 24 hours, next 48 hours, or next 3 days or 1 week. So we use different models, taking the mainly weather data and other climatic data, and also what is the topography and land use, land cover, and also assess that what is the because of the rain which is happening in the it is a large catchment. Around 59-60% catchment is in China, Tibet, and Bhutan, and around 49% is in India. So getting the details from other countries is a difficult task, but using the different models, we also say that this is 48 hours in advance. We say that flood is going to happen, so that the persons and livestock can be brought into the safe places, and also provide the relief measures in advance. So this also very good initiative done by Northeastern Space Applications Center. So we are providing now I am not there, but at that time we were providing operational services as a fluid, what we call is a flood early warning system. So there are other techniques like ground-based techniques where we can also provide lightning detection instruments can be installed across country. Already it is underway. It is done by IITM, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, under Ministry of Earth Sciences, and also NRSC Hyderabad, that is the National Remote Sensing Center. So the instruments also provide information related to cloud lightning and cloud to ground lightning, and then the movement of these lightning, what is happens, so that we can also have a prediction, but it is not that advanced prediction like floods, because their catchment is big. So here we can predict maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in advance, so that people, most of the time, people die, large number of people die because of the lightning than other disasters. So lightning detection, satellite based is slowly coming, but now ground based thing it is proven, and people are installing this lightning. So another what I was started is like a floods. So for flood related things also, one is another is once the flood happens, how to assess the damage assessment. So for that, we also use a geographic and information system. That means creating a uh, information about what is there on the ground. Either you talk about a terrain information, having the height information of the ground, and also what is the land use, land cover, where all the cities are there, how much is the density of the population, ward wise, and all other information, road connectivity, and all other infrastructure which are important, like if the flood happens and then relief has to be provided, and then there is no other way, we cannot take the road connectivity, and what we have to go is we have to go either drone based delivery or helicopter based delivery. Then we have to identify the upland areas. So for doing that also, this geographical information system and digital elevation model generated from the satellite data, it also helps us to do that. So that means we can map those areas in advance. Suppose if the flood is going to happen, going to inundate large extent of the area, under that what are the buildings are there, how much populations are they, living, what are the good infrastructures which are there, which are all under this, what is the cropped area under the water, how much time it is under the water. If it is more than 15 20 days, or if 1 month, the crop will fully damage. Otherwise, if it is flash flood and goes, then it is okay. So in this context also, Government of India, Honorable Home Minister said that they wanted to make flood resilient northeastern state. For that also, we are also working on that, identifying the existing wetlands and regenerating those wetlands, so that the storage, it can take more storage, that on the downstream the flood impact can be reduced. So these are all things what we do using the space technology. Another important thing is, when you talk about urban areas, what is the smart city? For that planning, so we use very high resolution data. So there are a lot of land areas which are also encroached by public or private people, legally and illegally. So how to identify that and bring back that land, and so that it can be used for various developmental activities. So satellite data is such that, as I mentioned earlier, so we have satellite from Landsat to ISRO, and then there are many commercial satellites. Like a Planet Labs, they have a CubeSats and mini satellites which are very small. So there are more than 200 satellites orbiting, and then there is other. If it is rainy season, these satellite also cannot help. Then we have to use microwave satellite data, so that microwaves can penetrate through the clouds, and wherever the damage is happening and due to the floods. So those things are also can be mapped using the satellite data, because geographical data is already put on the background, so that we know that how many houses are damaged, how much infrastructure is getting damaged. So that assessment can be done. Most important thing is, floods happens because the catchment area, it brings the water from the catchment. If we can treat the catchment, it is called a watershed treatment, watershed management. So if we can properly treat and put wherever the soil is exposed, so those areas, if we can bring in back natural based nature based education, vegetation cover, if you bring it there, so then it will also take the water and go, and also help in the storing as a groundwater, and then reduce on the downstream side. As I said, wetlands is one more component where is innovate, so flooding can be also reduced. Another thing is, construct check dams and dams on upper side, so that also help us to basically store the water, finally reduce the flood impact. As far as doing this, and then how we can support the government, or on the user, how to benefit the users. Either you talk about for agriculture, based on the nutrients of the soils. If we know in advance, we can take up a precision farming, and so that the farmers get benefited, that where they have to add additional nutrients, or which are all the pesticide affected, how to they bring back to the more natural way and bring the nature-based agriculture. What I say is organic farming type. Already, Sikkim is already declared as a organic state. So, like many northeastern states, so they have everything available naturally, and they can also bring back to the organic organic based farming. So in that, precision farming also helps in that. Most important thing is nowadays we have a lot of satellites are available having the resolution of, you can say, uh, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer to 100 meter, 50 meter, 20 meter, and then we go up to centimeter level. So like a 30 centimeter satellites, spatial resolution satellite data is also available. If you wanted to do something, identify the areas for the development, like bring in more agriculture areas, finding a suitability for horticulture crops, or finding suitability for other organic farming. So, and then also sericulture. So there are many things where the space data technique are useful. But thing is, if we can do it as quickly as possible, so then it will become it will help the planners to plan and bring the schemes, and so that we increase the production, we increase the revenue of the farmers, and then it will also help us, whatever the initiation government of India is taking, to also it will solve the employment is one component. At the same time, you also produce more and also generate a value added products, so that your revenue becomes much bigger, and also help the farmers. So one is health sector is also like a telemedicine. I don't want to talk on that because there are maybe other experts already they told on that what is the telemedicine and tele-education. But as far as the natural resources is concerned, identifying, so here also students who wanted to take up a career, we have large number of metabytes of the satellite, terabytes of the data is available, and then these data also is made available publicly freely. Recently, ISRO also, through National Geospatial Policy, which has come up 2022, the satellite data is made available freely. So these data can be used, and what you require is AI and other modeling techniques, and then using the resources available publicly on a cloud environment, and then do the services as fast as possible. Suppose I wanted to develop a vacant areas and then wanted to bring more agriculture or protect the catchment area. So these there are challenges. There are, and then when ISRO also privatized 2020, thinking that all people come and join various activities. You talk about a rocket building, rocket launching, and then satellites. And now already, Doshi sir already mentioned SpaceX, how we are advancing into that. So there are in the last 2 years, 4 years, 250 startups have come up, and then they are taking it as a challenge, and then by working in various areas. You talk about rocket satellites, and also how to do the analysis, space data analysis, and provide the solutions. So these are a lot of the challenges are there. If anybody wanted to become an entrepreneur and do the services for his own state or his own village, and finally to the government or India, it is a great opportunity. So I think it is whoever wanted to take up a profession, I think space is one important field, and you can happily take up. So whatever the I can contribute, or if somebody wanted to ask something later on, or wanted to consult me, wanted to take up this space field, I whatever from my side, my expert side, I can also help in that context. Thank you, Anjan Bani, and then National Council of Research and Teachers Scientists India and National Council of Student Scientists. And you're going for that award competition for the students. It also encourages students to take up the space as their career. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence as well as your blessings and guiding students so that they, whatever the field is, they can go for ISRO and space science also, and very different dimensions of space science. Thank for elaborately speaking and guiding students as well as all of us, sir. Thank you for being with us. He is Dr. PLN Raju, former director and scientist in remote sensing from NISEC, as well as in office special secretary to the government of Assam also. Thank you, sir. Mm, Sir, we have with us from NASA Johnson Space Station, George A. Selezer, who contributed 38 years, almost 38, 3 decades, more than 3 decades in human flight mission like programs, as well as SpaceX also, as well as in JSC, NASA, and different fields also. He is with us. We have with us so many scientists from various fields of Indian space programs. Uh, we have with us Elan Govind sir, who contributed for GSLV, ISRO. For a long time, he has contributed and served the ISRO. We have with us Dr. R. Ramakrishnan sir from ISRO, who contributed for mission to Mars. Uh, Sir, please be with us. We have with us Bharat Bhai Chaniara sir from ISRO Space Application Center of Ahmedabad. And at the early phase of ISRO, he contributed with the EduSet like projects and other projects also for the very specially dedicated to education purpose from space, which is a collaborated program of NASA also with ISRO. So we have a lot of team, sir. Be with us to listen all of the words of wisdom from them. Now I would like to invite George Selegier from NASA JSC to guide us, our Indian students, about space mission so that they can be encouraged how to be a scientist, and they can be encouraged through programs what we are conducting also as a sixth India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award. Through we are selecting some students through a screening test during the 1st January to 28th February. 1st January is the birth anniversary of Satyendranath Bose. We know the Bose and Einstein theory, and 28th February is the National Science Day, which is the day when C.V. Raman, the Nobel laureate, um, uh, confirmed his Raman effect also. And thereafter, in March and April, we will conduct some assignments on space science. Some experiments will be there, and some space simulator will be there, as the space scientists are organizing and doing their nature jobs, such as making of rocket and sending it or launching it to the orbit, different kinds of orbits, and then landing on any celestial object or planet surface. In such a way, they will do some activity through the space simulator, and accordingly, we will select uh, the students for the screened and filtrate students for the award. So now I would like to invite George Seliger from NASA. Sir.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are.
Very good. All right, so good morning here from Houston, Texas. Good evening over there in India. I want to take this opportunity to first thank the National Council of Research Teachers, for inviting me to speak. In particular, Ajon Butnick, that invited me to talk. He's the organization's national chairman, and also he is the recipient of the Government of India National Award. So thank you for inviting me and sharing a few words, with the students. Uh, I have to say that I also want to acknowledge the, uh, uh, the whole organization in this India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award, and I also want to salute the supporters that were part of this. For the professionals, the teachers and professors who took the time out of their busy schedule to help make this happen. Also, I applaud the parents of the students for supporting them. And I'm glad to see that the India International Sarabhai Student Science Award provides opportunities for students to learn beyond the classroom. This is certainly something that's very going to be beneficial for the students in the future. The name of the award fits well. The late Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space program, was a fantastic scientist who established many technical research organizations and started a project leading to the first Indian satellite in 1975 and the founding of the Indian Space Research Organization. I think they called it ISRO. The organization made moot history not too long ago by making India the first nation to land a spacecraft on the lunar South Pole. That's an area that NASA's looking at, and I'll say a few more words about the lunar program later in my talk. But the ISRO is also on target to create a human spaceflight capability for India, and that's fantastic. It's going to be one of the few nations that have a human spaceflight program, in addition to China, United States, and Russia. But the interesting thing about Dr. Sarabhai is that he and his wife also founded the Darpana Academy of Performing Arts, which clearly indicates he was a great believer in not only science and technology and engineering and mathematics, but also the arts. In fact, I think STEM is starting to become STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So he was a great visionary in terms of how arts could be included as well as the STEM area. And every student who participated in this event should be proud of their achievements. Although only as I understand it, there's going to be top 5 winners. That everyone that competed in this competition is a winner, in my opinion. You were the few students who undertook the challenge. Your dedication and determination to do your best will help you in life. As you will encounter challenges in high school, college classes, and more so challenging projects in your career where there are no answers in the back of a book. You have to search out for a solution to complex problems. So you have to have a good technical knowledge. You got to have good problem solving skills. Critical thinking is also important, and also working in teams are key qualities for the next generation of workforce needs. And I hope this competition experience will spark a continued interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, leading you all to perhaps a college and university and become a scientist or an engineer. Challenging career opportunities wait for those who prepare for high technology, such as space exploration, something that I enjoyed for many, many years. More and more commercial companies are coming on board worldwide, creating companies for opportunities in space exploration, from ground operations such as astronomy to physical observations such as satellites and robots. And this means more jobs in the space sector. These companies are going to need scientists and engineers and technicians to make the company successful in space exploration. And not only do these jobs pay well, but they're also fun and exciting, something that I never realized I was going to enjoy so much engineering at NASA. Sometimes I felt like a big kid, developing big toys. So I am definitely a believer that technology type jobs are exciting and fun, and and I think students would enjoy working in that field. There are new exciting times in space exploration, such as human spaceflight. And NASA has been pioneering human spaceflight missions, since the early 1960s. Started with the Mercury program, where we would only send one astronaut up into space, and now we send many astronauts up to space. And then we sent humans to the moon in the late 1960s and early 70s. Though for birth it was for a brief period of time. In total, we spent something like 3.5 days total time with 12 astronauts walking on the surface of the moon. That was just a very brief period on the moon surface. We've done over 45 years of on-orbit technical and human research using the space shuttle and space station. And now it's time to extend further our knowledge into human spaceflight missions. And that's why the Artemis program was recently created a few years ago. And this program is going to take us back to the moon, and not just for a very short period of time like we did on Apollo, but this time to stay. We need to develop the technology, the medical systems necessary to live on another planet for a long period of time, not for a short period of time. And it's going to be, in essence, the dress rehearsal before we send humans to Mars. Going to Mars is going to be very challenging because of the distances, not only in communications, but also in travel time. For the Artemis program, excuse me, 52 countries have already signed what's called the Artemis Accord. This is to help develop the Artemis program. India is one of those 52 nations, and there will be many opportunities for other countries to participate in the Artemis program, which will require several areas of research and development in robotics, life support systems, food and water generation, space systems to make it successful. India already has positioned itself as a key player in the future of global science, technology, and space exploration. Union Minister Jitendra Singh said this month that India plans to set up its space station by 2035 and plans to land the first Indian on the moon's surface by 2040. These are exciting times, students, and I'm hoping that you all get involved with it in the future. For myself, I recently retired as an engineer from NASA, having spent 40 years developing human spaceflight systems from the space shuttle to the Artemis moon human lander system. It was a great ride being involved in human spaceflight, but it was time to retire and let the younger generation take over with new and fresh ideas. My road to NASA was not easy, and it's too long of a story to tell here, but I must say that determination and hard work overcame the hardships and challenges that got in my way and got me to NASA. In my years of working on high technology projects, I have to say that I found it to be a good scientist or an engineer, you must know your subject well. But you must continue to recognize that you're going to be learning. It's going to be a life learning experience, and also working with people. And I found that it's the people in a team that make a project successful. In closing, I salute the efforts of the National Council of Research Teacher Scientists and the Indian International Sarabhai Student Scientist Competition to help students fulfill their potential. Recognize that your talent is needed to help India and the world improve. And there will be times when you encounter challenges and you feel you're overwhelmed. A bit of advice from me in that situation is you got to believe in yourself. Keep that goal and dream you wish to pursue in front of you at all times and never let go. Remember, you only fail when you stop trying. I wish the students all the best in the future, in schooling, and in your career. Again, a sincere congratulations to the winners and all the students who participated. And I believe that Dr. Vikant Sarabhai would be proud of you all. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, sir. You are not at all retired, sir. You may be superannuated from your service, but you are always with us, and it's a blessings to us also, sir. More, sir. If I am not the authentic one, but I have to say, if I go through the space history of India, that we have a very good collaboration with NASA. We get more things supports from NASA also. We got so many uh, Indian originated astronauts like Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams. We also get, if we go through the early stage of NASA, ISRO, Sarabhai also collaborate with NASA, and in the field of education, he tried to make a visionary change through space science for India, and so many things have done. Now also some more things are going on to collaborate with NASA, as well as today is also one space docking experiment is going on, most probably according to Indian time in 10 p.m. It will be conducted. So may NASA become a institute for us also, with the help of which institute ISRO can grow up, and science can grow up moreover. So it will be a great thing, sir. Your presence has added value to this event also. Thanks for supporting, sir. One thing I would like to elaborate, sir, we have with us uh, our scientist from ISRO who served for a long time in a struggling period. We have Jayant Joshi, sir, who contributed for mission to Mars from Melbourne. We have with us Alan Govin, sir, who served for a long time for ISRO, especially for GSLV, which rocket is a prestigious rocket for our ISRO. We have with us Dr. R. Ramakrishnan, sir, who is also contributed very specially for mission to Mars. We have with us Sir Bharat Chaniara, sir, from ISRO SEC Ahmedabad also, who at the early stage of ISRO, who contributed for uh, almost 3-4 decades in of his service life in ISRO SAC, and very especially for EduSat like projects, sir. So thank you for being with us. Please be with us. We hope we can learn more things, very especially human space flight, and we can conduct some special webinar with you for the benefit of our students who are aiming to be space scientists through this our program. This is a program, sir, basically for motivation and to build up new future scientists from India. And because even NASA is also giving opportunity to Indian scientists, Indian brains, for benefit of the science at their platform, sir. So thank you for being with us. Thanks, George, sir, once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I would like to invite our scientist, Dr. R. Ramakrishnan, sir, who served for ISRO a long time, and very specially served for GSLV, the Mota Bhai rocket like projects, as well as other projects also. So I would like to invite him, Dr. R. Ramakrishnan, sir, to listen his words of wisdom. Sir.
Thank you, first of all, Anjan Banik, National Chairman of this. And the NCRTS on this big of this today is a very special day, and it is actually tears are coming out of this. So early age of his, Vikram, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, he died, and I did not join at that time. In 78 only I joined. I did not have direct opportunity to interact with him, but I had just wanted to share with you before getting into little bit of technicality of what else and what we have done in ISRO, what is the so much interesting things to do it to the student community, especially you see, I was after finishing my masters, I was getting 1.5x times of my salary, but my father, he told you got a job in ISRO, it's a scientific job, and I was getting only 1x salary. Then but I, as usual, the youngsters and all, they will be seeking a way to go to the government setup and things like that. But afterwards I realized that I could, inch by inch I moved, and then I had started with like a scientific officer in ISRO in 78, and almost 37 years I worked, and I reached a quite good position. And then various project I had worked. What I why I wanted to share with the student community that it's money is not all that things one is required. One requires at this stage you focus on your subject. As my previous speakers also, Professor Jaj and this like Jayant Joshi also touched upon a lot of technological aspect, and Professor Raju also told. See, we have to concentrate on the subject and take a particular discipline. You specialize on that. You excel your contribution. So this is what exactly you do it, and to work on a science projects. That is a thing which I want to say. So if you work in a commercial aspect, like I'm not saying that any IT sector, you may do some coding. There are now AI, there are a lot of technology comes. Even the coding is not required, you can do different type of things, and then you can get a good amount of money, but at the end of it your satisfaction is unless you contribute to to the nation, to the country of a particular in that field of space, or in the phase of atomic energy, on the in space of science and technology, it will remain forever. So I want you to take up this particular speech which I am going to tell about this. Say, when I joined in ISRO, I had after Aryabhatta, I had the opportunity to work with Bhaskara satellite. Then I was working with Indian remote sensing satellite. I think most of them are PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicles, like IRS-1A, IRS-1B, all remote sensing satellite. I was an image processing specialist. I did my PhD in image processing, and then I did a lot of data. Signal processing is required. So you get the satellite data, but that you need to do a very sophisticated mathematical strong based image processing algorithm to process it, churn it, and then you have to do it this time. Those days when we were there, I'm talking about 90s and 2000s, the computers are very slow. That means you write a program, you keep it, then afterwards you come, still it will be churning, and then you get some kind of results which will demotivate you. But you have to first debug the program, you have to again do it, and then make it the things. Because algorithm is supposed to some mathematical algorithm which you need to do a lot of iteration, and you have to do convergence, and then you have to solve a lot of equation. So especially weather related satellite which I worked, there's like a cloud motion vectors, like I had worked with the INSAT meteorological data processing system. I had a chance to lead a team of scientists. I was a project director for that. So initially there was this satellites all processing is done elsewhere, and then it was we are only launching satellite, the processing and the algorithm and then parameter generation, what you see in Indian meteorological IMD site, the weather satellite which posts the pictures. The ISRO took a lead responsibility to get the project awarded. We do the entire ground station, processing, and then the parameter geophysical parameter retrieval algorithm, and then with this the with the meteorological satellite like INSAT 3A. Then we started with Kalpana 1. Actually, the Kalpana 1 was named after the fast track satellite. After that, the astronaut died, and the name of the satellite is given to things. And then their satellites are very low resolution satellite. Now afterwards we have INSAT 3D, which is a medium resolution. You have a thing then 3DR, 3DS, and GISat is coming high resolution satellite geo platform. Geo platform means is a polar satellite is about around 800, 900 kilometer low Earth orbiting satellite. Whereas if you talk about GSLV, the 36,000 kilometer. From there, you are able to get a resolution of not only multispectral, that is visible green, red in NIR. We were planning to get for hyperspectral thing. Hyperspectral is very important from the application scientists. They say that if they have hyperspectral, which very nanometer kind of bandwidth, then you can identify the species, you can identify the clouds and everything very clearly. And then for many kind of applications, this particular data would be very highly useful. And then this is the thing. So the earlier days, if you say some cyclone coming and all, the prediction, landfall and all things used to take, say, no number of days, and you cannot save the people. Now you see the recent cyclone, what has happened in India or anywhere, their tracking system, the cloud motion vector with this every 15 minutes of satellite picture is booming down to the one third of the globe, and then we get able to predict and we could evacuate the people. The human life is highly saved by this type of technology, this type of algorithm which predicts very precise. That's what is the thing which is there. I just let me move on to we were work on various Earth oriented mission. I had an opportunity to work in Chandrayaan 1 mission as well as Mangalyaan. So my thing is specifically goes very challenging to Mangalyaan. You see, we have to wait 300 days to see the payloads are putting on, and we don't have any job. What to do? There are a lot of maneuvering and orbiting. We will be always our Prime Minister, current Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, bhai, he came and then I was sitting in the gallery of spectators, and he gave a speech for 45, 50 minutes and the thing. And then what is move on? NASA satellite, okay, they have vehicle which can take the satellite into very faster time. But the Mars, there are some five payloads are there. I had an opportunity to work on the mission color camera, the three, and then another is the TIS. There are the two instrument which are the methane is there or not there, and that the entire surface is we have to do strong different type of processing algorithm. What you do in the Earth, there the Martian atmospheres are different. You have to have a various mathematically very strong based algorithm. We have to research on it, and we have to tune it and process it. And now only one thing which is there, unlike 2000s and before, your computers were very slow. Now in 2000, when I was talking about 14, 15 time frame, the computers were quite fast. We had a GPU computing and things like that. Then at 2015, and then I had also opportunity to work Chandrayaan 2. Unfortunately, the lander could not do it. Vikram lander was the name which is given, and then but Chandrayaan 3 was successful. Now the technologies are too much advanced. Now AI based, the all solutions are AI. They can track it and tell you what is to be done, where it is going wrong, how it can be done, maneuvering and trying to do. And Chandrayaan 3 was a very great success, and we were still whatever my the art it remains that ISRO's 37 years which I have worked, and then various missions are coming up like interplanetary mission astrosat, and then the like Aditya, which is also very successful. Now we are getting into Venus. So I would like to think that the Earth is to the extent with high resolution camera, like a centimeters level and sub-meter level, we got a very data volume is too high. and they're all are in cloud-based computing, and then with technology, you get not only onboard computing, there are edge computing. Those who are computer scientists want to take up, they say the edge computing is another new area. So there are a lot of scope is there. So you will have enormous amount of satisfaction. So I want you to motivate you students that get into ISRO. It's not that easy to get in because it's quite competitive. But I just would say you work hard. Definitely you will land up there, and then you will able to do that. I wish you all. I think with this, wish you all a great success, and then with your things, and expect you to get a good award, and then you want to choose a good project on this. Thank you all for listening me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you being with us for this period of time, and we could able to celebrate the Remembrance Day for Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Sir, we have with us Dr. Ellen Govind sir, and also Bharat Bhai Chaniara sir from ISRO, as well as PLN Raju sir from NISEC, and former director of NISEC, and now he is serving at government of Assam, and Jayant Joshi sir also from Melbourne, who served for ISRO. I would like to invite Ilan Govind sir, who served for ISRO, for some few words, uh, who served for ISRO for a long time, and very specially his project was GSLV, sir. Sir, I would like to invite you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. And congratulations, Mr. Fanning, for your continuous effort in the education without any panic. Right? Okay. So I am from Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Direct to the point. And what are the lessons we learned from Vikram Sarabhai? Directly, of course, I didn't have the opportunity to directly work with him, but I had lot of true event and a lot of events how he shaped ISRO, especially Vikram, especially the initial earlier of ISRO at Trivandrum. Okay, that's what I want to bring it to you. Some two or three events which I know, which will depict Vikram Sarabhai, his nature and how he led ISRO. Actually, he grew ISRO. First one is he has a very strong vision. He may be doing entirely different from what his vision is, but he has a very long vision in mind that I have seen him. Even we are launching a sounding rocket, but he is thinking of launching a rocket like say SNV. So that thinking ahead is one of the big quality of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He brought lot of people from US. Those Indians were Indian origin who were working in US. They joined ISRO just because of. So that way ISRO was get benefited by him, and he brought lot of people. I can say from Masant Gavrikar to Dr. Rane, and even Dr. A.E. Muthanayam, who was a propulsion group. Everybody he only brought, and he has given lot of opportunities for the engineers to grow, like Dr. Ravi Narayanan. He sent him to Princeton University. You will be all knowing. So he is a team builder. The first lesson he will listen from the bottom. So whenever we talk to Vikram Sarabhai, we will talk about Dr. Kalam. Actually, Dr. Kalam is not that much next level to Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. No, he was second or third level biology. There are a lot of people in between. But whenever he come, whenever Kalam bring something to him, he will listen. And he will suggest, and he know what to do for what, and what is to be given to the staff. He knows very well to his team. Once Dr. Satya is no more now, he was one of the composite head who prepared from the coconut pear some composite wounded and that composite fourth stage. Kalam was in charge for the fourth stage of the SLV and overall vehicle. First stage is by Dr. Vasant Gavarikar. Second stage is by Dr. Group, I think. Third is Dr. A.E. Muthuranayam. Like fourth stage is by Dr. Kalam and overall vehicle. So he was developing that composite stage. So immediately he break the notice of Dr. Kalam and Dr. Vikram Sarabhai when he visited. Whenever Dr. Vikram Sarabhai visit we Vikram the Turds at the time, there was a electricity in the atmosphere. Everybody will run to show their achievement to him and get applauded and get described and get his advice. He immediately thought that the composite dissolved and told, asked to send Satya to one factory in Coimbatore who is winding a electrical motor winding. First see that. So immediately he sent him to that for a training. Like that, when you want to set up Sriharikota, the launch pad, he immediately sent a group of people, including Dr. Savadhan Pillai and Dr. Ramdan, I think, to visit all the space ports of world before building. This kind of training and how to build a team, he knows very well. And second point, he knows the time, value of time. Once he told Dr. Kalam to come and meet him at Asoka Hotel night 2 o'clock. And Kalam traveled all the way 17 hours to reach Delhi. And taking food is one of the platform shop and waiting at Asoka reception. Exactly 2 o'clock he came. He took Kalam and another person, Major General Narayanan, to the Delhi Air Base, and showed them a rocket assisted takeoff Reto to ask Kalam to develop his rocket motor to fit in the Air Force plane to rocket as a takeoff. And it did. And morning, after that, he went to Madam Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's office and took a breakfast. Evening, the Reto project is sanctioned. This is the way he worked like that. Whenever we find a problem in anything, in economical or financial, he immediately will solve through a book. Once Aram then has to go to buy a TTC from Austria, and he needs some foreign exchange. That too within a day or two. He went to Bombay, RBA, and he was not given proper treatment. He came out and phoned to Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, sir, I have to go. Immediately the clerk from the RBA is coming out running for Aramdan and took him and do the check, give the necessary financial license to go there. So these kind of things can be done work with Sarabhai only. And moreover, you will look a lot of everything very minutely. You won't believe, 1972, when Madam Indira Gandhi visited Turks and dedicated Turks to the nation, he inspected everything. And he find out the grass, that grass where we have to sit down and everything that near the stage. So he ordered to get artificial grass at the time from Bombay. So like that and put it. So this kind of encouragement and the financial support and the technical support what he is nobody can give. So this what by Vikram Sarabhai, visionary, time management, and even some of he asked people to take ticket and travel with him, and the travel itself we will discuss and finish and come back. Some of the ISRO discussion in the earlier time it will take, and it will go up to airport, and people sometimes you will put all ticket and they will go by aircraft. Also, the meeting will continue. So this kind of dedicated and very visionary. When there was a chance to launch the International Geophysical Year, the sounding rocket along the equator, magnetic equator, which is passing through turns, he took the opportunity immediately and took bring the sounding rocket first. Then he went for SLV and everything. So this kind of attitude is correctly. For his thesis, he was interviewed by 3 Nobel Prize winners, including Sir C.V. Raman. He came to India. He discontinued his PhD at UK, and because that I will be guided by Dr. Sir C.V. Raman. Okay, he continued here and take it. So that kind of leader, That visionary is necessary for India, and on its basis, now we are doing everything. We are doing cryogenic vehicle. We are once when I was in GSLV, the cryogenic vehicle is supposed to buy 7 stages from Russia, and Russia agreed. But suddenly America came to know, and they were not happy, and they put a plan. They put it right. We should not give to technology transfer to India, but the stages they allowed to give us the stages. So finally, we got the stage. We will develop our own technology, cryogenic technology we developed, and we are launching the satellites for America and other countries. When our first country was helped by our satellites are helped by America only, US only. They only gave all the payload to us. Nikki Apache is a rocket, the first sound rocket which left VSSA. So all the things were there. He built the international collaboration, international projects, support, and everything to India. On his request only that how to build a SAR has come. He only developed a SAR. Sriharikota for launching. So this is his contribution. I'm very happy, and so I congratulate the student and who is getting this award. The Vikram Saraswati award is a worth to get it. So be like a vision like him. All visions are coming true. Today night also we are going to docking experiment, which is of course done by Gemini in 1966. We are going to do one small satellite docking today. Like we are going to launch, we are going man in orbit, and to the moon again, and we are going to be in a space station, Indian space station around. All the things, the foundation is given by a great and visionary leader, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and I thank you for giving a chance to talk about him on this auspicious day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
for your words of wisdom,
Mm.
sir. Next, we have with us our mentor scientist from ISRO SEC, uh, Dr. Bharat Bhai Chaniara. Sir, please, Sir Ellen Govind, sir, please be with us. We
Oh,
will
sure.
be conferring some award
Yeah,
to the teachers and to our
sure.
some dignitaries, selected dignitaries.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of they will join. So we will irritate you
No, no,
to
no,
remain with us for a few minutes also, sir.
no. Today, large
Now I
some TV channel may call me. Today, large, right, 10
yes,
o'clock.
sure, sure,
Already
sure,
I
sir,
have
sure, sir.
spoken
I
in
know,
Air
I
India.
know.
All India Radio, I have given a talk
FedEx.
before this.
Okay,
Okay, some
okay,
TV channel will call me for interview because of the launch
okay,
today
okay,
night. That is
okay,
the only
okay,
thing.
okay.
Otherwise, I will be here.
Yes, sir.
No
Docking
problem.
is
I'll be
there,
there. I'm
but
listening all you.
docking time is, sir, at 10 p.m., sir.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime the call will come. Yeah, they will set a stage,
Okay,
no,
okay,
and the
okay.
three
But till
sets.
till
Okay.
till till that time, please be remain with us, sir.
Yeah, yes, yes. Thank you. Sure,
Sure,
sure. I'll
sure,
be there.
sure,
I'll
sure,
be there.
sure, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. We have with us our mentor for a long time, even from whose presence this event in 2020 during this lockdown period we started this event. We have with us Dr. Bharat Bhai Chaniara sir from ISRO SEC, contributed the space science, contributed the ISRO a long time, even almost 4 decades at the early stage, at the struggling period of ISRO. So we will listen from him. Sir, please bless us for our programs. And it's a dream child of you, even that we have to nurture our next generation for space science. So please say something. Please bless us with your words of wisdom, sir. Bharat Bhai Chaniara, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anjan ji. Good evening to all the honorable scientists from the various field. Anjan Banik ji, teachers, students, and parents. First of all, this is the sixth Sarabhai Student Scientist Award is going on through webinar. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the participants who has participated in this competition. And my heartfelt congratulations to all the winners who are going to win, get award in this award function, and for the bright future of all the students. Uh, First of all, as we know that in India, space technology development was started in around 1969, and Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was pioneer, and he established ISRO and started development of space technology. So he was also known as father of Indian space program. As we all know that Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was a eminent scientist, great visionary, generous donor, institution builder, multidimensional personality, simple and humble human being. So this was the uh, very good characteristic of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and he was believing, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was believing that we must use space technology as a development of our, as a top gear of development of our country. So space technology is a means of fast development of the nation, and over the time this technology will be cheaper, highly reliable, and provides a large geographical area coverage. So this was the belief of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai in the beginning, before starting the establishing the ISRO. So this was the very good vision and belief. As we know that space technology has high valued numerous applications in the field of communications, remote sensing, and navigations. And recently, we all know that one attempt was made that to develop the space tourism. Already one attempt was successfully made by by Elon Musk in USA. So in near future, this space tourism business will grow like anything, and it has a very large scope in near future uh, as a business. So this way, space technology field is very have very great future. So I request all the students to take interest in the space technology field and try to study in the space technology field and join the ISRO and uh, provide your great contribution for the development of nation. So with this, I would like to congratulate Dr. Anjan Banikji for providing me this opportunity to speak to you all, and all the best for his uh, this continuous effort for the students. So thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it's a long time with your association, with your under your mentorship. We conducted this event also since 2020 to 2025. We are going to enter with Happy New Year. We are introducing our program, sixth year of India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award, and we will screen through a quiz as we do always from 1st January uh, with the birth anniversary of Satyendranath Bose to till 28 February, National Science Day, the day when we achieved Raman effect, for which C.V. Raman also conferred the Nobel Prize in Physics, for the first Nobel Prize for Indian and Asia also. And thereafter we will conduct some 5 to 6 assignment, which is a space science based or astronomy based experiments, and we filtrate the students, uh, and accordingly we will choose only 5, or if some tie is there, 6 students for this award, and confer the award on 2025 12th August, which is a birth anniversary of Sarabhai also, sir. So we have with us now, we have with us so many dignitaries, our Ellen Govind sir, we have PLN Raju sir and R. Ramkrishnan sir. in presence of you all, we are conferring Teachers Award, the teacher who motivated students during the sixth India International, during the fifth India International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award 2024. Almost six students we have conferred this award, and out of these six students, we chosen uh, three, four teachers, but only one teacher uh, applied for this nomination, and accordingly we chosen one teacher, Dr. Sibu, Dr. B.S. Shivam Muthuraja from Tamil Nadu for this award. So in presence of all of you, we are conferring this award, and we'll take the feedback.
I deeply honored and humbled to receive this prestigious recognition. I am grateful to the esteemed member of NCRT and DASA India for recognizing my contribution. And I fully commit to upholding the values and responsibilities associated with this honor. I would like to express my thanks and gratitude to the National Chairmanship, Mr. Anjan Manik sir, for supporting and facilitating these outstanding initiatives. Your encouragement and work being be done by NCRT and the DASA India is advanced science education and mentorship are deeply inspiring. I try to say my student, Sri DPS Tulsidharan received the 5th International Sarabhai Student Scientist Award. And I look forward to actively participating in the upcoming events and initiated organized by NCRTs and our international collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. V.S. Sivamuthuraja. You have motivated so many students to appear and to conduct their astronomical experiments and guide them, and it's really amazing whatever service you have given, and this is only a token to you,
Thank you.
token gratitude to you through this award. We will send all the concerned items to you, so that you can be keep it, and in
Yes, sir.
next year to come, you may show it showcase all these things. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure.
We have another award uh, for our counterpart organizer. He is from engineer Bugle Kumar Jain from Kota, retired chief engineer, thermal Rajasthan. We are conferring him the award for his contribution to the organization for a long time. Welcome to you, sir, engineer Bugle Kumar Jain. Sir, first of all, we are showing the certificate, we are conferring the award, and then we'll take your feedback in presence of our dignitaries, scientists from NISEC, scientists from ISRO. This is for Bugle Kumar Jain, a token award to his gesture as well as his efforts for the organization through our whatever he has done through for the students and all the our counterparts through the national level. So thank you for doing all these things. I would like to invite Bugle Jain sir to unmute yourself and to say something, give a feedback in presence of our ISRO scientists all.
Hello,
Yes, yes, yes.
hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
मुझे खुशी है आज मैं अपनी बात को प्रारंभ करना चाहूंगा सफलता पाने की अभिलाषा में खो डाले जीवन के सुखमय क्षण और आज मैं सफलता के प्रथम चरण पे मौजूद हूँ मुझे बड़ी खुशी है इस सम्मान को पाने के बाद सम्मान्य भारत के प्रतिभाशाली वैज्ञानिकों डॉक्टर प्रभाकर शर्मा जी डॉक्टर पी.आर. अल राजू जी साइंटिस्ट डॉक्टर जयंत जोशी जी आर एलान गोवन जिनको अभी मैंने सुना डॉक्टर आर रामाकृष्णन डॉक्टर भरत चनियाला जी जिन्होंने अभी सभी के लिए कुछ बात कहा तथा इस माध्यम से जुड़े हुए सभी प्रतिष्ठित व्यक्तित्व का मैं हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं मुझे हार्दिक प्रसन्नता है कि मेरे नाम का प्रस्ताव श्री अंजन बनिक जी द्वारा 6th इंडिया इंटरनेशनल साराभाई स्टूडेंट साइंटिस्ट अवार्ड 2025 के लिए प्रस्तावित किया मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा सिलेक्शन टीम का जिसने मुझ में विश्वास दिखाया और मुझे आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रेरित किया मैं बिगुल कुमार जैन सेवानिवृत्त उप मुख्य अभियंता तापी परियोजना विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि भविष्य में भी मैं विद्यार्थियों के बीच विज्ञान के प्रचार प्रसार के लिए सतत प्रयासरत रहूंगा मुझे यह अवार्ड साराभाई के 54वें स्मृति दिवस पर दिया जा रहा है जैसे विक्रम साराभाई जी ने रॉकेट की लॉन्चिंग के लिए थुम्बा का चयन किया उसी प्रकार श्री अंजन मनिक जी नेशनल चेयरमैन एनसीईआरटी इंडिया डासा इंडिया ने पूरे भारत में विज्ञान के प्रचार प्रसार के लिए त्रिपुरा अपने गृह नगर को चुना और जिस प्रकार मुझसे संपर्क हुआ कि कितना कठिन परिश्रम छुपा है इस अभियान के साथ इस अभियान ने सिद्ध कर दिया कि अंजन बनिक जी अलग अलग प्रदेशों के प्रसिद्ध नगरों से किस प्रकार से संपर्क स्थापित करते हैं और प्रतिभा को खोजते हैं और तलाशते हैं उनका आप जैसे ऊर्जावान वैज्ञानिकों के बीच संपर्क बढ़ाते हैं मार्गदर्शन मिलता है ताकि हम सभी के विकास के रूप में बढ़ते हुए कदम रुके नहीं हमारी ऊर्जा बनी रहे मुझे सेवानिवृत्त हुए 9 वर्ष हो गए लेकिन जब मैं विद्यार्थियों को बीच युवा पीढ़ी के बीच होता हूं तो मुझे कुछ नया कुछ करने की तमन्ना होती है पुनः मैं अंजन बनिक जी को इस अभियान के लिए सराहना करता हूं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद धन्यवाद सर
थैंक यू सर सर ये मेरी सराहना की कोई आवश्यकता ही नहीं है बेसिकली आपने जिस ढंग से देश के लिए काम किया है सर और संगठन के लिए भी और इन प्रोग्राम्स को कामयाब बनाने के लिए भी विविध प्रकार से जो आपने कंट्रीब्यूट किया है वो उसको भी एक सराहने की ज़रूरत है और उसी हिसाब से आपकी ये सम्मान हम करना चाहते हैं और आपको सम्मानित करते हुए हम भी सम्मानित बोध करना चाहते हैं सर सम्मानित
बहुत
होना
धन्यवाद सर बहुत धन्यवाद पूरी टीम को सर फिर पुनः एक बार धन्यवाद सर
थैंक यू सर
ओके सर
इसी के साथ सर आपकी उपस्थिति में हम सभी वैज्ञानिकों का आभार व्यक्त करते हैं जिन्होंने अपना कीमती समय निकाल के यहाँ पे आए और दूर दराज से आए बिना कोई बाधा की यहाँ से जुड़े और अपनी बात रखी ना केवल अपनी बात रखी बल्कि नई पीढ़ी को एक नई दिशा दिखाने की भी कोशिश की जिस तरह से मेलबोर्न से लेकर टेक्सास तक असम से लेकर तमिलनाडु तक और कोटा से लेकर जमशेदपुर तक लोग इस त्रिपुरा से जुड़े और इस मुहिम से जुड़े और इस मुहिम को सफलता दी। और इसी की वजह से भारत सरकार की विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग की ओर से उसकी जो अधस्तन संस्था है, नेशनल काउंसिल फॉर साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी कम्युनिकेशन, उसकी ओर से इस संगठन को इस इवेंट को सम्मान मिल चुका है, राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। और उसी सम्मान को लेते हुए मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा। तो ये एक सोच है जिसे हम विकसित करना चाहते हैं। आप सभी की उपस्थिति में, आप सभी को साथ लेके कि हम 21वीं सदी की इस अमृत काल में, जबकि हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, न केवल भारत की 2047 की ओर, जब पूरा देश एक नए सिरे से एक विकसित भारत के रूप में देश में सेंटिनरी सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस मनाएगा, उसके भी आगे अगले साल संविधान ग्रहण की 75वीं जयंती की ओर भारत जा रहा है। और उसी की दिशा है कि विज्ञान की सोच को आगे बढ़ाया जाए, साइंटिफिक टेम्परमेंट जिसको कहते हैं। और इसी की देन है कि ये प्रोग्राम आगे बढ़ रहा है। मुझे खुशी है कि ये प्रोग्राम 6 साल चला और आगे बढ़ रहा है। और मुझे लगता है जिस तरीके से वैज्ञानिक से लेकर आम आदमी तक, शिक्षक से लेकर छात्र छात्राओं तक, ये प्रोग्राम सभी के द्वारा स्वागत किया जा रहा है। उसी हिसाब से यह प्रोग्राम 2047 के विकसित भारत में कुछ योगदान जरूर रख पाएगा। और भारत के विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग की जो सोच आज है, उसी के भरोसे ये प्रोग्राम एक नई दिशा दिखा पाएगा। इसी सोच के साथ आज हम यहीं पे सम्मानित सभी की उपस्थिति में इस कार्यक्रम को संपन्न करना चाहते हैं। एक बार फिर से मैं उपस्थित रहे हमारे वैज्ञानिक PLN राजू सर और R रामकृष्णन सर का आभार व्यक्त करते हुए यहीं पे इस इवेंट को समापन करने की इजाजत चाहता हूँ। थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू सर।